Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. So, guys, the gremlins are striking big time today and last night. So last night we had a video we couldn't get up, and trying to go live, can't go live. I just can't stream. It won't let me stream. So, I don't know. I guess it's going to a new level now. Hopefully, this video is going to work. And so, I'll give you guys an update on what we got. So as you see, we're at 438,749. Deaths are approaching 20,000. It's looking like we're spiraling out of control here. So we see 81,661 in China, 69,176 in Italy, 55,243 in the U.S., 47,610 in Spain, 35,353 in Germany, and then you have Iran at 27,000, France at 22,000, Switzerland at 10,000, and then we'll jump all the way down to Canada at 2792, and we see Australia at 2364. So numbers are heading up, up, up. In Italy, we have 6,820 deaths. And we have now 3,434 deaths in Spain, second most to just Italy. Both of those are ahead of what they're showing in China, but the numbers are dubious, as we know. And the same thing with Iran, 2,077 deaths. 1,100 in France, 433 in the UK, 276 in the Netherlands, and we're showing 192 deaths in the US. And 181 in Germany. Over here we see Prince Charles test positive for CV19. As we know, deaths in Spain are soaring, and that was the largest daily jump. It's definitely it's just spiraling out of control at this point. And we see chaos on the streets. Now there's military equipment everywhere, as to be expected. Very surreal times for most, not just Americans, but around the globe. So they say red itchy eyes may be another symptom of coronavirus infection, and maybe one of the early ones that come on. And this is according to the American Academy of Ophthalmology. So, one of the things that we've been told is avoid touching your face. You have to... one of the techniques that we do is we basically sanitize our hands before we go anywhere, and then we do it immediately after, and make sure we do not touch our face that whole time. As you see here, out of Zero Hedge, no country has an exit strategy. Experts warn the virus disruptions could last months and years. And that's a sobering thought, but that's what we have heard. We could be looking at this going on perhaps with a third wave come 2022, is what they are saying. And we see over here President Putin, or whatever we want to call him, because, just like in China, he's pretty much a dictator for life. And he's donning his bright yellow banana suit, full hazmat regalia going on. And you used to see him shirtless, riding horses, hunting, fishing, and doing judo and taekwondo, and here he is, full hazmat, being the example for the rest. And in Spain, you can't even use your own backyard. Police are making sure of it, so you have to stay in the house and not even go outside to just feel the sun on your face. That really is horrible when you think about it. Personally, I don't see what the problem would be with just standing in your backyard. But this is what's ongoing now. Everything is coming down. It's getting locked down. As we know, we've lost a lot of our freedoms, but with the apparent death rate soaring, and we're also seeing a lot of younger people and people that are very healthy seem to be succumbing to this now. And I still haven't seen anything more than 2 different strains. And you got to wonder, is there more than just the 2 mutations now? The UK is calling for 250,000 volunteers as the deaths are surging. So you see it's people They're looking for people to help with the medical situation, for one, for health service. And they look to add police patrol, a rail network as well. There's a temporary hospital going up in London next week, so we see what happened in China is happening all over now. And New York's virus outlook darkens even as Trump pushes to reopen the economy, and there's a lot of people that just don't understand the talk coming out of President Trump. It just doesn't seem like it makes any sense at all. And Steve Lookner yesterday, he went crazy, did he not?
Oh my gosh, that was terrible. The foaming on his mouth was awful.
He was literally foaming at the mouth, literally. And he was so irritated with President Trump because he doesn't feel President Trump's taking it seriously enough, hasn't done enough, quick enough. And there's a lot of people thinking that now as well. Here you see it's like a war zone, fighting coronavirus, limited ICU beds, bracing for chaos in New Orleans. And Louisiana's being really hard hit, as we had talked about yesterday. And you have hospital beds filling up everywhere right now, and workers are being forced to ration critical supplies like N95 masks. We've seen that everywhere as well. So bracing for chaos down in New Orleans. And we have the White House and Congress agreeing on a $2 trillion virus rescue bill. As you see Steve Mnuchin walking by, and nobody's wearing a mask here. Boy, that almost looks like that comedian. Doesn't he look like... what's his name? Oh, yeah, he does. This guard looks so much like that comedian. So, White House and Senate leaders of both parties announced agreement early Wednesday on unprecedented $2 trillion emergency bill to rush sweeping aid to businesses, workers, and healthcare systems slammed by the CV-19 pandemic. So the urgently needed measure is the largest economic rescue bill in history, is intended as a weeks-long or months-long patch for an economy spiraling into recession or worse, and a nation facing a potentially ghastly toll. To the American people, we say big help, quick help is on the way, so said Chuck Schumer on CNN. So monetary help, though, there's a lot going on around here now. We have not enough rooms in hospitals, can't make it, and die at home. Many can't make it in, and so they just die at home. This is in Italy. As we know, Italy has been the hardest hit, and you got to just still wonder why. Is it just because of the age or the strain? A lot of things about this whole thing do not make a lot of sense. That's the bottom line. And as we see over here, this is Orange County, and it's just, I wanted to show you guys what one of these letters looks like when it's telling you what to do in a quarantine. So stay at home to flatten the curve. And the order takes effect Thursday, March 26th at 11 p.m., ends Thursday, April 9th at 11 p.m., and Mayor Demings could extend the order if he believes it's necessary. The order applies to all individuals in the OC unless you work for an essential business or unless you're doing an essential activity. You must stay home. The order is mandatory. Orange County residents must stay home to prevent the spread of COVID-19. You can travel to and from grocery stores, pharmacies, gas stations, police stations, fire stations, hospitals, doctors' offices, healthcare facilities. However, once these locations have been visited, residents need to go home. While inside businesses continue practicing social distancing, try to stand 6 feet from other customers and checkout lines, continue good hand washing practices, use hand sanitizer before and after your trip. And it just goes on to say the Orange County Sheriff's Office will enforce this order, and they don't intend to use the order as a mechanism for making arrests. The purpose is to get residents in the right frame of mind to act responsibly for their health and the health of their families by staying homes whenever possible. And will restaurants be able to deliver or provide carry-out? Yes, restaurants can continue to provide takeout and delivery services. You cannot dine in any restaurants. And am I able to visit my friends and family? You should not visit friends or family unless there is an urgent need, such as providing food, caretaking, medical reasons. Otherwise, stay at home and talk electronically. What about doctor's appointments? You can go. Will I be able to visit COVID-19 testing centers? Yes, but be aware of the qualifications for considering testing. And it has a link there. And then will hospitals be open? Yes, they will. So that's just kind of typical. So here we see it's increasingly clear that early data out of China was perhaps an anomaly. The coronavirus is severely harming substantial numbers of people under 50. So not just older adults, as we see a little spring break action there going on. And that's out of BuzzFeed News. Here we see a 21-year-old woman with no underlying health concerns, and she died of coronavirus in the UK. So obviously something there is perhaps changing, or maybe we didn't have an accurate assessment of what was really going on. And this is some of the chaos. This is Miami Beach. And here the police are trying to break up a bunch of people that are not doing proper social distancing and are just congregating out in public. And they get kind of mouthy with the police, and times are different now. So what ends up happening is the police try to get them to move, and they're just kind of being a little mouthy, and then all of a sudden you see some police come in and just tackle them, take them straight down to the ground, start arresting people. And also then you start hearing some shots, and there's one police officer, a female police officer, with like a sandbag gun that comes in and is shooting at people's feet. Most definitely a little chaos going on here, and these are definitely different times compared to what we've seen. And here we have a woman in Australia spitting on fresh produce after testing positive, and you just have to ask yourself, what goes through people's minds? What is wrong with some people? People react to different things differently. It's just horrible. I don't know what you could say about that.
No, I don't. This is insane. This is humanity at its absolute worst.
So we see Hubei residents swarm trains as coronavirus lockdown is lifted, right? So is it really back to normal over there? Well, we still got people face planting and sometimes just laying there. And here we see people with masks on. And, nobody really wants to touch him. So I guess they're waiting for the authorities to come. And this is Gordon Chang. He says, China, from what we can tell, is in the early stage of a second wave of COVID infections. The second wave, if mishandled like the initial outbreak, could cripple the country's economy. So you see Wuhan denying virus tests to keep numbers down. Are they? Is that what they're doing? Does the Chinese Communist Party really expect the world to believe no new cases for the past several days? What's really going on there? And then we have at least 9 Amazon warehouses dealing with cases. So again, be aware of that too. And when you're handling packages, before and after, best to use sterile gloves and, sterilize your hands before and after. And many governors reject Trump's virus timeline as he's talking about getting back and getting business going by Easter. And a lot of governors and a lot of people in general are saying, are you crazy? What are you talking about? Because honestly, the peak in the U.S. is probably not going to happen till about then or a week after or so, thereabouts. And that might even be hopeful wishing as well. So we have a makeshift morgue for coronavirus victims set up outside New York City Hospital. It's looking like China and Italy all over again, guys. It really is. Take all precautions. We see Americans rush to make online wills in the face of coronavirus pandemic. And that's one of the things that many people haven't addressed. And we see Amazon's Bezos and other corporate executives sold shares just in time. Isn't that funny how that works? Isn't that funny?
Indeed. It sure is. What a coincidence.
Yeah, I mean, what a coincidence. I guess maybe they had a little inside info, maybe.
Perhaps, but it's all pure coincidental.
And when you think of it, why did hundreds of CEOs resign just before the world started to go crazy?
Again, purely coincidental.
There was a huge list of people, just leaving. And this is from InfoWars. And, this is actually The End of the American Dream by Michael Snyder. But I found that there was like 6 different links to get to this story. And this was the only one I could get to open. None of them would open up. So, I talked about David Wilcock yesterday. Really disappointing me because he was saying stuff that made me think that he's really been bought and paid for now. And one of the things he was saying is Google's going back to being normal and YouTube's going back to being normal. And I can verify it's not even close to normal. The censorship is still as high as it's ever been. I think it's going higher. That's my personal take. And he was really downplaying the seriousness of this and doing one of those, as many people die from the flu things. But we don't see the situation like this, regardless of, the contributing factors. And there could be many, as we've talked about dozens and dozens and dozens of times, FIVEG and all. NANO, BOTS. We could get into so many contributing factors that could be going into this. The bottom line is, this is not a situation that we've seen before in our lifetimes, and this is not acting like the flu. So I think it's been a big disservice for people that have been going that way and saying that, because again, we know of many people that are sick. We have been contacted by many people that are truly sick and terrified. So, there is something most definitely going on, and we should never belittle that. And we have reports of young people getting sick now in droves too. So it's really curious that all these people, these executives, were just stepping aside. 1,332 stepping aside from January to the end of October, and these are CEOs that make a ton of money. And they're all leaving in droves. And we've seen Prince Charles now supposedly has this too. And of course, many people are wondering, is that just a cover? And are they really heading for their bunkers?
That's what I'm thinking. It's like, really? And now what? If they have it, they're going to go into quarantine. And then where's quarantine? Maybe it's underground in a bunker.
Yeah, or maybe on some luxury island just all by yourself. So we see Mayor Garcetti announces water and power will be shut off for all non-essential LA businesses that don't close. That's taken it to another level, most definitely. And then we actually have a patient infected with 2 strains of COVID-19 in Iceland. And so, they're infected with the mutated strain and the original strain. So they're still saying there's just 2 out there. This is interesting that you could be affected with both. And as the panic spreads, living underground doesn't seem so strange after all, does it? All those people that are survivalists and preppers and people that have a bunker, now, honestly, they're the ones that are looking the most sane.
They are. Yeah, right.
And there's, quite a few of them. So this is curious as well. Planet X just revealed by Google Sky. Black swath gone, winged disk visible. And, timing, because remember we have the comet. We have Comet Atlas coming, which many feel is a big harbinger of doom or change at the very least. And then we have this picture, which comes out of Google Sky. And there's been a million. I mean, if you watch WSO, if you see our brother Mark over there, Wages World, he's covered so much of this blue Kool-Aid. And, again, please send your prayers for his family because, they are going through a health crisis right now as well. And thank you guys for that as well, the prayers and the well wishes for him and his family. What is really going on here? And we've seen a lot of strange things in the sky. Is it really the return of the gods, the return of the Anunnaki? Is it the Draco going to be coming out of hiding? Are the creator gods coming? What's really going on?
Yeah, we've been kind of talking about that.
We have, and we're going to cover a lot more on that subject coming up. A lot of that we'll be talking about, too, on the second channel, EEARTS, EEARTS. As always, guys, thank you so much for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. I really wanted to go live this morning. We were up early. We didn't really sleep last night. So unfortunately, they're really hitting us hard right now here. They're hitting us super hard. So hopefully this video is able to go up, and hopefully we'll have a little bit more time with you guys before they pull the plug on us.
God bless and namaste.
God bless and namaste, guys.